My name is Bob Norris, and I am a candidate to be your Kootenai County Sheriff. I have been attacked. I have been attacked by keyboard cowards. There are some horrible things that are being said about me that are complete lies. Let's get right into them. Lie number one, the website says that everything is documented. That is absolutely completely false. And here is a list of those lies. Lie number two is that I did not have a son with Julie. As you can clearly see, there is on the same case number, and you turn it to page 2, and it says there was a child with this marriage. The next page is that Brandon Norris was from that marriage. Let's go to lie number 3. Lie number 3 states that I do not pay any income tax on my retirement income. Here is a recent stub dated 9/30, and it states taxable income $4,501. Let's go to lie number 4. Lie number 4 states that I stated that I currently hold a top secret SCI clearance. As you can see on the website, it was always past tense and it shows held. Let's go to lie number 5. Lie number 5, I would like for anybody and everybody who's responsible for this website to face me and debate me. What you're suggesting in line number 5, that you paint a picture of corruption and bribery in the same sentence, and nothing could be further from the truth. I worked for a sheriff and I worked for an undersheriff who were not convicted of any type of bribery. They were not convicted of any type of fraud. What they were convicted of was false statements or obstruction during a jail investigation from the ACLU, complaints from the ACLU about unnecessary force. Nobody, the sheriff or the unsheriff, went to jail for corruption, of bribery, or fraud. These 2 press releases from the U.S. Attorney's Office state that. In addition to that, into the same language, they are alleging that I was involved in a bribery scheme to pay for a promotion. Nothing could be further from the truth. When this was brought to my attention, I contacted the treasurer of that campaign, Jeff Perry. A few days later, he returned my call. He says, "Bob, we don't show anywhere where you gave a donation to the campaign." In addition to that, I wrote a letter to the author of this article. All of these items will be posted on my website. And in this article, in this email, it states that I would like to see a copy of the campaign finance report. This was on November the 20th. To this date, she has not returned my call. I have debunked this on so many different avenues. I would like to also now state that in this website is alleging that in 2002, I gave this donation. Well, a quid pro quo, which there was never a conviction of. There was never a lawsuit of. There was no conviction for bribery, no conviction for any racketeering, no conviction of the RICO Act. That in 2002 I gave a donation. Let's just say for the purpose of this conversation that I did. I didn't get promoted until 7 years later. So 25% of a person's career passes them by before they're promoted. That is not a quid pro quo. A quid pro quo is generally a simultaneous transaction. That is not. As your sheriff, I will always be transparent. I've been transparent in this campaign, and I posted all of these things on my website. And I'm going to post all of these documents on my website. Let's go to lie number 6. Lie number 6 stated that I intended to intentionally hold 2 home exemptions at the same time. That is false. As you can see, here's documentation from the Kootenai County Sheriff, the Kootenai County Assessor's Office, that they made an attempt several times to remove that exemption. Now, they don't know how it got applied without ensuring that it was removed. Ultimately, it's my responsibility, and I take responsibility for not ensuring that it was removed. Now, there's lie number 7. Lie number 7 goes back to one of the previous lies because they are suggesting that my transition here to Idaho didn't involve a son. Well, that is false. There were several attempts with me and my teenage son to make a home here, a permanent home, long-term home here in Kootenai County. There were some transition issues. His mother had recently passed away, and my transition wasn't as clean cut as I thought it was going to be. So there was a lot of back and forth. I was spending a lot of time in Kootenai County, and I was spending a lot of time in California. And during that time, I did vote. I voted for Trump in 2016. Absolutely. I voted twice while I was in this transition period. I'd like to talk to you about another subject that this website brings up. And this website brings up that the way that I introduce my now wife's daughters, that I introduce them as my daughters instead of introducing them as my fiance's daughters or my stepdaughters. Well, I will not ever introduce them in their presence, that they are stepdaughters. They will never be second class in my eyes. So to the opponent who associates with people responsible for these lies on this website, does it make you feel good that kids are now questioning my daughters about their dad? Does that make you feel good? This website also says that California policing is corrupt. That is absolutely false. It's no secret that Kootenai County is growing like a weed. I have the experience to be proactive versus reactionary. I have had an opportunity to review a couple of policies that we currently have, and this sheriff's jail is lacking a community safety plan that secures the high school and the residential area and provides a network of protections for these areas in the event of an escape. In addition to that, we can make some improvements with our air tanks that we have. We do not have a sufficient enough air tanks to make sure that our personnel are taken care of and safeguard those inmates as a major liability in the event that something happens to them, in the event that there's a fire or smoke inhalation. I have this experience and I have this foresight. There is no better candidate that can protect your rights and protect you in this growing community that we live in. My name is Bob Norris, and I appreciate your support.